Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at the life of Joel Roy.
Oh, interesting.
He's a former teacher,
Okay.
and he's been dealing with some health challenges, but finding a lot of support from Meals on Wheels. We're looking at an article called From the Classroom to Home, Joel's Story of Health, Hope, and Perseverance.
Right.
And you know one of the things that really jumped out at me when I was reading this?
Yeah.
Was this little detail about Joel being a late bloomer when it came to his teaching career. It really got me thinking about the kind of, what that says about him.
Yeah.
The kind of energy he must brought to the classroom,
Absolutely. I think someone who finds their passion a little later in life often brings just a different perspective.
Totally.
A different energy, maybe even a deeper appreciation for the opportunity to teach.
Okay.
And the article mentions, he worked in both Vermont and Connecticut. Even coached, kept score, really immersed himself in the school community. And then there's this other fascinating detail that he ran his family's pizza shop for a while.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Total career shift.
Yeah. It really does seem like he thrives on staying active and engaged.
Absolutely.
Even when facing a major shift, like early retirement.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, he had to retire at 60 because of osteoarthritis.
Right.
I don't know about you, but before reading this article, I didn't really fully grasp how debilitating that can be.
It's definitely something we tend to just associate with aging, but the impact on someone's mobility can be profound.
Yeah.
Imagine just the simple act of walking becoming a painful and difficult task.
Wow.
And for Joel, it wasn't just osteoarthritis. The article lists like a whole slew of health issues.
Yeah.
Limited mobility, mild asthma, vertigo from Meniere's disease.
Oh, wow.
Even hearing loss. And he was only 65 at the time.
He's only 65.
It really does.
Yeah.
Paint a picture of somebody facing an uphill battle just to manage daily life.
Absolutely.
And this is where that statistic from the article really hit me. 1 in 2 seniors living alone lack the income for basic needs.
Wow.
And Joel's living on a $30,000 pension, which puts him in a tough spot.
Right.
It's not enough for real comfort, but it's too much to qualify for a lot of assistance programs.
Yeah.
Makes you think about how many seniors are silently struggling.
Absolutely.
Especially those who are homebound.
Yeah. It's a huge issue. And this is really where Meals on Wheels enters the picture. Right. Not just as a way to prevent hunger, but as a multifaceted support system. We often hear that phrase, more than just a meal.
Yeah.
But Joel's story really embodies that, I think.
Yeah. And, I was especially struck by how his weight fluctuated before Meals on Wheels. He was talking about how he relied on those frozen meals.
Yeah.
And he even said, they made his body blow up because of all the salt.
Oh, wow.
And that really highlights the importance of access to nutritious food.
Absolutely.
Especially for seniors.
It's so true. We often focus on just making sure seniors have enough to eat, but the quality of that food is just as crucial. A diet high in sodium can exacerbate, health issues like high blood pressure, which is already prevalent among older adults.
And it's not just the physical health aspect. It made me wonder, what was Joel's social life like before Meals on Wheels?
Right.
The article mentions he had to give up driving.
Yeah.
Struggles even to walk around the block.
Yeah.
That level of isolation must have been incredibly difficult.
Yeah, that's the point we can't gloss over. The Surgeon General has actually labeled social isolation among seniors an epidemic.
Wow.
And when you think about it, those few minutes of interaction with the Meals on Wheels volunteer might be the only real human contact Joel has some days.
That's a really stark reminder.
Yeah.
That a simple meal delivery can be so much more than just sustenance.
It's a lifeline.
Yeah.
It's a connection. It's a check on somebody's well-being.
It really puts things in perspective.
Yeah, it really does.
This idea of Meals on Wheels being a lifeline really, really got to me.
Yeah.
Especially when the article mentions that Joel was on a waiting list for 2 years before receiving meals. I can't imagine how difficult that must have been.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to think about, He was relying on those unhealthy frozen dinners during that time.
Right.
His health deteriorated. really underscores just the critical need for these services and the impact of delays.
Right. 2 years is a long time.
2 years is a long time.
To go without proper nutritional support.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're dealing with all those other health challenges.
Exactly.
It really makes you appreciate the urgency of this issue.
Yeah.
It's not just about providing meals.
Right.
It's about reaching people when they need it most.
Absolutely.
And it got me thinking, too, about the volunteers.
Yeah.
They're not just delivering food.
Right.
They're often the only ones checking in on these individuals regularly.
That's a crucial aspect of this program.
Yeah.
You know, those volunteers are trained to be observant.
Right.
To notice changes in a senior's, appearance or demeanor. They're often the first line of defense.
Wow.
Alerting family members or healthcare providers.
Right.
If something seems amiss.
It's almost like an extra layer of support.
It is.
Like a watchful eye looking out for their well-being. It's amazing. It's almost like they become an extension of the healthcare system in a way.
They really do, yeah.
And it brings us back to that idea of Meals on Wheels being so much more than just a meal. It's a whole network of support.
Right.
Connection to the community.
Yeah.
A safety net for those who might otherwise fall through the cracks.
Precisely. And Joel's story highlights another element I find really powerful.
Yeah.
Sort of ripple effect of small acts of kindness.
Okay.
Remember that aha moment when he read the Meals on Wheels flyer about physical activity?
Yes.
And decided to start walking regularly?
That part really stuck with me.
Yeah.
It seemed like such a simple thing.
Yeah.
But for someone like Joel, who's, largely homebound.
Right.
Struggling with his health, taking that first step.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively must have been huge.
Absolutely. And it speaks to the power of encouragement, and feeling empowered to take control of your health. Yeah. Even when facing limitations.
Right.
And think about the positive cascade that followed.
Yeah.
He started walking regularly, lost weight, improved his mobility, likely reduced his risk of falls, which is, as we know, a major concern for seniors.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a testament to how a small act of kindness, like providing information and support, can have such a profound impact.
It's like that saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day.
Right.
Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's more like give a senior a meal and a little encouragement, and you empower them
exactly
to take control of their health and well-being.
I love that.
Yeah.
It perfectly captures the essence of Joel's story and the impact of Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
It reminds us that sometimes the most powerful interventions are the simplest ones. Those that focus on empowering individuals to make positive changes in their own lives.
It's a beautiful reminder that even in the face of adversity, there's always hope.
Absolutely.
And that sometimes all it takes is a little nudge.
Right.
A bit of support to help someone rediscover their strength and resilience.
Absolutely.
And speaking of hope, the article ends on such a positive note.
Yeah.
With Joel attending bingo games and enjoying these simple pleasures.
Yeah, I find that image so heartwarming. It reminds us that even with health limitations, life can still be full of joy and connection.
Right.
It's about adapting to new realities, finding new ways to engage with the world, and embracing those moments of happiness, however small they may seem.
It also highlights the importance of having support systems in place. People who can help you navigate those challenges and find those moments of joy. For Joel, it seems like the Meals on Wheels program and his home care worker have played a vital role in that.
Absolutely.
But it makes you wonder, what if those supports weren't there?
Right.
How would his story be different?
That's a question worth pondering, for sure.
Yeah.
It underscores the fragility of our social safety net and the critical role that programs like Meals on Wheels play in filling those gaps.
Right.
And it brings us back to that unsettling statistic.
Yeah.
1 in 2 seniors living alone lack the income for basic needs.
Right.
Imagine the countless individuals who might be struggling in silence.
Right.
Isolated and without access to the support they desperately need.
It's a sobering thought.
It is.
And it begs the question, what can we do as individuals and as a society to address this growing need?
Absolutely.
We can't just turn a blind eye to the challenges facing our aging population. We have a responsibility to ensure that they have access to the resources and support they need to live with dignity and well-being.
Absolutely. And I think stories like Joel's serve as such a powerful call to action.
Yeah.
They remind us that even small acts of kindness can have a profound impact.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's volunteering at a local senior center, donating to a Meals on Wheels program, or just simply checking in on an elderly neighbor.
Right.
You know, it's about recognizing the humanity in each individual, regardless of age or circumstance, and extending a hand of compassion and support.
And maybe it starts with a simple question.
Yeah.
How can I help?
Exactly.
What can I do to make a difference in the lives of seniors in my community?
That's it.
Because as Joel's story so beautifully illustrates, even the smallest gestures can have a ripple effect, creating a more compassionate and caring world for everyone.
Well said. It's about recognizing that we're all in this together and that we have a shared responsibility to care for one another. And I think that's a powerful message to carry with us as we move forward.
As we, go a little deeper into Joel's story, what really strikes me is how easily someone can slip through the cracks, especially when they're facing multiple challenges like this.
Oh, absolutely.
Limited mobility, health issues, financial constraints.
It's a stark reminder that we often just take for granted.
Yeah.
Those simple things.
Right.
Like being able to walk to the grocery store or prepare a healthy meal.
Yeah. The article mentioned that Joel had to give up driving.
Right.
And even walking around the block was a challenge.
Yeah.
I'm curious, did the article shed any light on his social life before Meals on Wheels?
It didn't go into a lot of detail about his social connections prior to Meals on Wheels, but it did highlight that he was, primarily homebound.
Right.
Due to his health limitations.
Okay.
And, that brings up a crucial point, I think, that we haven't really touched on yet.
Yeah.
That emotional toll of isolation.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about the physical and nutritional benefits of Meals on Wheels, but the emotional support aspect is equally important.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine being confined to your home.
Right.
Unable to engage in activities that you once enjoyed.
Yeah.
Cut off from social interaction. It's
a recipe for loneliness and despair.
Yeah.
And it's not just an anecdotal observation.
Right.
The Surgeon General has really sounded the alarm about this epidemic of loneliness, especially among seniors.
Yeah.
It's a serious public health concern with real consequences for mental and physical well-being. Studies have shown that social isolation can actually increase the risk of depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, even premature mortality.
It's a sobering thought.
It is.
And it really underscores the value of these programs like Meals on Wheels.
Absolutely.
Which go beyond simply providing meals.
Right.
They offer that lifeline to the outside world.
Yeah.
A friendly face, a listening ear.
A reminder that someone cares.
Exactly.
And it's not just the volunteers.
Right.
A lot of Meals on Wheels programs also offer additional services.
Okay.
Like transportation assistance.
Oh, wow.
Social events, even pet food delivery.
Really?
It's about recognizing that seniors have diverse needs and creating a support system that addresses those needs holistically.
It's about fostering a sense of community.
Yeah.
Of belonging.
Absolutely.
Of knowing that you're not alone.
Right. Yeah.
It makes me wonder what can we do beyond supporting Meals on Wheels to combat this social isolation among seniors in our communities?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It requires a multifaceted approach, I think. It might involve advocating for policies that support senior centers, community programs, volunteering our time at local organizations, or simply making an effort to connect with elderly neighbors or family members.
Right, yeah.
It could be as simple as a phone call, a visit, an invitation to a social gathering.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can make the biggest difference.
Absolutely.
It's about recognizing the inherent value in every individual, regardless of age or ability.
Yeah.
And extending that hand of friendship and compassion.
Couldn't agree more.
And I think that's what makes Joel's story so powerful.
Yeah.
It reminds us that even in the face of adversity, there's always hope.
Right.
And that even simple acts of kindness can have a ripple effect, creating a more compassionate and caring world for everyone.
I think that's beautifully said.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Joel's journey and this broader issue of senior care, I'm left with a sense of gratitude for the work that Meals on Wheels and these other organizations are doing.
Absolutely.
And a renewed commitment to do my part in supporting our aging population. I hope you feel the same way.
I do. I think it's a call to action for all of us.
Yeah.
Let's make sure no senior feels forgotten or alone.
Right.
Let's make a difference.
Right.
One meal, one conversation, one act of kindness at a time.